Hi folks, so quick announcement. I will need a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks of a short break. I just started working for Shutterstock and I just want to take a while to get into all the documentation and be ready for this job. So I don't want to kind of split my time for this period. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create this last video where I'm going to show you how to integrate charts.js with your Django project, because I think it's the most interesting part, and then I can leave you for a couple of weeks so you can play around with those charts using the charts.js documentation, and then I can come back and finish off the tables and continue with the tutorial. Okay, so I will start with obviously the git add git commit. What did we do the last time? I think it was so Excel app now saves all entries from Excel file. I don't know, that sounds like something. Okay, so what I want to do first is do a bit of housekeeping. Again, this is not exactly how I want to design those views. It kind of doesn't make sense that you have a separate view that shows you exactly the same. I want to merge those two views where this part will take care of the get request and this part will take care of the post request. So basically what I can do is I can just go and take this and copy all of it here and maybe just copy all the content. So you know what I'm gonna do this. I'll just do something like this. If request dot method is get, and I'm gonna do just this. Okay, and then elif it's post, we can do the rest of it. And then else, when it's not post, this view only accepts post and get, or maybe get and post kind of makes more sense. Get and post methods. Okay, so if it's anything else than post and get, it's gonna go here and then return this. So I suppose because we're using the same the same return with different context, which is handled by the if else statement, I can delete this one here. So basically it goes in here, and if it's get, it just does this, and then if it's post, it does all the parsing and saving, and then if it's something else, then it just says this view only accepts get and post methods, which kind of wouldn't really accept it. It's really not a good return in here, because really what it should do is send back some sort of a HTTP request. So I suppose I can put it here. So just delete this and do return HTTP. Oh, we don't have that here. So we have to go, let's say here, from Django.http import HTTP response. Okay. And then in here, we just want to say HTTP response. And then in that response, we're going to say something like, this view only handles get and post requests. Okay, so it's going to just respond with HTTP response with this message, and for now it's enough. It's not as bad as it was before with this return. So yeah, that's handled now. So now we have this update file view that I really want to just kind of maybe change this name to like a generic overall, you know, this app air pollution view. So maybe I can just call it air pollution page. Maybe that would kind of make sense, or maybe just air pollution. Okay, because it does two things. It's not just generating the page, but it also like handles the file. So I'm just going to call it an air pollution. I can get rid of this, and I know you're a little bit anxious about what's going on with the URLs now, because I just deleted two views and there is a new one here. So obviously I need to reflect that here. And so I'm going to get rid of this and then change this to air pollution. So view air pollution, views air pollution, and then change this to air pollution. And okay, so we had something in HTML that was handled by upload file view. So I'm going to go to templates and change that as well. So it, so what was the upload file? There you go. So I'm going to just change it to air pollution. Air pollution view. Okay, so now this form, which uses the post method, it will use this view and it will be handled by URLs, and URLs, whoops, will go here and be like, okay, the method is not get, so I'm going here and then it's going to take care of this. And maybe let's have a look again. So I'm just going to go and do air pollution. So that's the problem. We had two different links, let's say, two different URLs. One is air pollution and then another one was air pollution upload file. And really we want to just have one kind of handling this view. So now we have 2014, we are going to put, so again, I'm going to just refresh to make sure, 2014 and then 2014 upload. So it's using this air pollution view with the post method, file uploaded successfully. So it did go in here and it did the parsing, and then file uploaded successfully message was put in the context, and it was returned with the welcome HTML file. And if we look at the URL, we are still in air pollution. And I kind of think that it's better designed because you don't want to switch your URLs after, you know, when you upload your files. So that's good. Again, in the future, we can change it to Ajax, which is, in my opinion, even better approach. If you're not using something like React, which we will get into at some point. And Ajax actually probably will start using it with charts.js. So just basically this or next video, depending how long will it take. So anyway, let's start pulling some data to this view. As you can see, we have import form, data table, and data visuals in here. So I guess we can do something like whenever you open this view, not only you can upload some files, but also if you have some data in the background, you can visualize them using, you know, tables and visuals. And actually we can build a very simple table in this tutorial, not using anything fancy, just a simple HTML table. So in this get request here, we can actually expand this part. As you can see, it's getting a little bit messy. Imagine I didn't do those helper, I didn't go with the helper file, which is keeping some of the functionality from here. So it will be even longer. So this is not ideal, but I'm gonna just for the simplicity, I'll just stick to this place here, and then we can maybe split it definitely into different views even to use it with Ajax. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I wrote this code without telling you what I'm doing because it became this messy video where I had to go back and forth a bit, kind of figuring out what I want to do. So apologies, but just the time constraints are pretty intense. So I'm gonna just go through the changes I made, if you don't mind, step by step. So it's gonna be very similar to me writing the code, but instead I'm just gonna go line by line what I wrote and explain what's going on there. So probably we need to start with a little fix that I made in here, which is, so I think I started with this. So that's in the previous video, but there is this thing here where in request method post, we are getting our creating this pollutant here. And before we were using the tab name dot split by the underscore and the first item. And I forgot about the strip. And what happened was, if you go to pollutants, you can see that they appear twice. And if you select them, one doesn't have, okay, so this one, you need to open the entry and you can see that there is a space behind. So that's the problem that I mentioned probably before, where sometimes you have like a space somewhere here and there, and it's really good to remember about this strip thing. So we're gonna sort that out just in a second. Another thing is because I changed the name of the view, so now it's not welcome. This is called air pollution now. We need to go to our apps and go to air pollution app and change it to air pollution. If we don't make the change, then it's not gonna render the home view. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead. Just want to show you one thing that is pretty useful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to terminal and the command is Python manage py flush. And that's gonna just erase the database completely. So just be careful whenever you're using this. That's gonna just clean the database, which sometimes is useful. Like in this case, well, maybe not that useful, but we need to get rid of all the entries, and we have 25,000 entries. So I suppose we can just flush it all and then just replace the bits and pieces that we need. So I'm gonna flush here, and you have to say yes. I'm gonna just irreversibly destroy all the data in our database. And now if I try to go to admin and try to even log in, and I'm gonna just use my password and log in, it doesn't let me in because I don't have my user anymore because it was in the database. So what I'm gonna do is Python manage py create super user. I'm super sure super user. Okay, and admin and some easy password because it's just a development. Oh, sorry, email address. Okay, and password. So some very easy password. I use that just for development, so that's fine. Okay, now we have, okay, so we are done. I'm gonna try to log in again using my very simple password. It let me in, but we don't have any of the data that we had before. And so I'm gonna go to the apps and create this app. So air pollution app, some description here. I'm gonna choose an image. I actually couldn't find my Excel picture, so I'm gonna replace it later. I'm gonna use my pretty face for now. And URL was air pollution without space there. Air pollution here. So we even have some autocomplete and created by me. Save. And now if you go to the web page, we should see my pretty face, and we can go to air pollution site. And as you can see, I prepared the table and I prepared the data visuals sections. So they're all done, and I'm going to go through one by one how I did it. Okay, so I fixed the apps, I fixed the okay, so I'm not finished because in models, and I didn't do that change because I just wanted to do it with you guys. I made this small mistake here that the air pollution level is an integer. Like sometimes the air pollution level is like 0.1, and we need to store that as well. So that needs to be changed. And I'm gonna use DecimalField here because it really we don't need, you know, floating point up to 10 numbers after the decimal point. So DecimalField should be good, and it also takes care of the float rounding issue. So it is better. And so in here we need to specify what is the decimal places. We just need 2, I'll say, and the max digits, I'll say let's go with 10, and that should be plenty. So let's save this. Let's see if I can do the migration. Python manage py make migrations, and then migrate up, migrate, and it went okay. So I was just wondering if we can just switch from integer to decimal field, but since we don't have any data there, maybe it was okay, no problem there. Okay, and especially like if you go from integer to decimal, you just add 0.0 and that's it. So anyway, so let's upload our files again. So probably we need to go with this temporary view again, which is let's go to URLs and this temp country creator view. So let's go here and go to air pollution / temp country creator, and that's done. So I think the countries are in yet. Let's go and check countries, and they're back in. So that's the beauty of building those temporary views. You can have it somewhere in the background and create all of those entries in like a split second. So instead of, you know, doing it manually. Okay, so now we are ready for our import. So I'm gonna go back here and just do 2014 and choose the file, go to tutorial, 2014 and upload. And I'm gonna do the same for 15 and 16. Okay, so that's done. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to refresh this view. Oh no, so I need to just go here and press enter. Refreshing would basically send the same post. And decimal is not serialized. Okay. So I have a problem here because before something that I was serializing, and I'll tell you what it is in a second, was an integer, and now we have decimal. So that might be a problem. Let me see. Okay, what if so we have decimal here somewhere. I was working on, and I'm gonna fix it very quick and then go through the code one by one. Okay, JSON. So we're supposed to add a total here somewhere. So I'm doing the total, so I'm gonna just put I think that's the problem here, the total. So I'm just getting all the pollutant levels, and in a second I'll tell you what's happening there. So I'm gonna just refresh here and see what this data is holding. Evaluate and see, okay, so I have a decimal here. What if I did something like this? Float, evaluate, and I have a float. Okay, so I need to make it a float, and also I'm gonna see if I can change this to float as well. FloatField, and just take these out. So maybe I don't need those. Save it. And so I'm gonna make migrations and migrate, and it went well. So let's have a look again. I'm gonna refresh and see what's inside there. Okay, see, there is some work we can do together anyway. So that's a float. Okay, so decimal wouldn't work here. Good to know. Well, it would work, but we would have to make like a float here like this every time. So if we have to do this, why not go with the float field in the first place? So now it should work. I'm gonna just release it here. What's happening here? Okay, so I went through, and let's have a look here. What did I build? I built those tables where you can see the average pollution level for each country. So if we scroll down, we have different pollutants, different countries, and their levels. So scroll down, and then we have data visuals, where we can put it as a visual. So here is PM10, and we can check every country and compare it to other countries. You can see that MK is one of the highest, and we have ME, and so on. So then, and I build it for each pollutant here. So there's SO2, and now we can see that we have only 6 pollutants, and before I had 10 because of the space problem. So we had PM10 and we had PM10 space, and it didn't work very well. So now we have a bit more accurate information.